Hey, it's Josh, and I'm in the southern part of the province of Quebec, not far from Montreal, visiting the Monteregie and Eastern Townships regions with my fiance Heath.
Hi.
And we're going to bring you along with us on our trip. So we started things off at the StromSpa in Mont-Saint-Hilaire, which is an outdoor thermal spa where silence is golden and you hop between the hot and cold baths and can even do a salt scrub. And we had lunch there at the Nord restaurant where you just remain in your robe to enjoy their boreal-inspired cuisine made with fresh local ingredients. And then we drove over to the Michel Jodoin Cidrerie to taste some of their apple-based ciders. They actually became the first micro-distillery in Canada back in 1999. So we enjoyed some of that and checked out the view. And then drove over to Venise en Quebec to stay at La Cache du Lac Champlain, where our room was quite spacious. The building is right across from a lake, and our balcony overlooked a golf course, so that was nice. And at the hotel, they have a restaurant called Le Greg Bistro Bar, where they serve dishes that are made with local and regional ingredients. We had a view of the lake out the window and a view of delicious food on our table. And then we started off the next day at the Noah Spa, which is right there at the hotel, with this amazing watergenic pool. I mean, that was a treat. And then we drove over to Le Tire-Bouchon restaurant, which is at the Orpailleur winery, to have lunch there. Again, they use fresh local products, and of course we had to have some wine with lunch. But from there we drove over to a very impressive winery called Vignoble du Ruisseau. This is a vineyard, a distillery, a cider house, an organic maple grove, and a country restaurant all in one. Just a beautiful property, and we got a tour from somebody who works there, so that was very nice. And then we drove over to Magog to check out Bleu Lavande for an in-depth look at the world of lavender. We shared some lavender lemonade and walked among the lavender fields before checking in at our B&B, which is called Ferme au pied Levé. So this is quite different than a hotel because this is actually someone's home on an actual working farm. So the owner took us around to meet some of the animals, and then the owners also made us dinner with ingredients that mostly came from right there on the farm. So as you can probably imagine, that was quite delicious. And it's quite a different atmosphere than in a hotel because you actually get to know the owners and they are lovely people. But then we had to head off to do some kayaking on the Cherry River. So this is a pretty delicate and fragile ecosystem where you can check out some of the wildlife, be right in the midst of the nature in the town of Magog. And not far from there, we had lunch at Bistro Koz. This is just off of Lake Magog, and the food there is inspired by Greece and Turkey, so some pretty unique dishes that were delicious. And then we drove over to the town of Sutton so we could go up to Mount Sutton. And the reason we wanted to go all the way up it was because they have a zip line that is 1 kilometer long and the most inclined in Canada. You can actually reach speeds up to 100 kilometers an hour on your way down. So that was fun. And then we checked in at Le Pleasant Hôtel. This was a 20th century Victorian residence that only has 10 rooms with European-styled bathrooms. And then not far from there, we went for dinner at the Sutton Brouerie, which is a microbrewery that's along a cute little river. We actually got to have some poutine and other pub-style food to just have a delicious end to our visit to this part of Quebec. And that's our visit to Monteregie and the Eastern Townships in Quebec. Thanks for watching, and follow me on Instagram to see photos from my trips as well. Bye!
Bye.